SEC, no? So, ngayon din, pwede na yung dalawa lang kayo, mag-corporation kayo, tatlo, gano'n. So, pwede na po yan ngayon. No? So, unlike before, at least 5, but not more than 15 ang incorporators. Ngayon, pwede po kahit isa lang, dalawa, tatlo, no? So, apat, lima, and so on. Up to, ano, sige ha. So, now, so yun yung ano no, corporation. So now you'll think, what's the difference ba? What's the difference between a one-person corporation versus the sole proprietorship, di ba? Pare lang, isa lang naman. What's the difference? Dito kasi, pag sole proprietorship, medyo mas mabilis ang ano to? Mabilis ang pag sole proprietorship, mabilis ang pag-form. No, you just have to go to the DTI for business name registration, and then you go to the, kung kailangan mo ng business name, kung pangalan mo lang, you don't have to go to DTI. You can use your name as long as you have PTRs. If you're a professional. No, so, but if ever you want a business name, you go to DTI, and after that you register with the BIR, no? And if you have an office, you register with the LGU, no, for business permits. So that's how it is. Now, after that, you try to operate na. And then, all you have to do is to file your income tax and all. Ganun lang ho. Hindi ganun ka-tedious. Whereas, kung corporation yan, you need to file an articles of incorporation, you have to follow the rules of the SEC, no, there are some procedures to follow for that. So, ganun po yun. And, yun. So, ganun po yung ano ng sa corporation. Another difference is, pag sole proprietorship po, pag let's say may investment ka na 5 million, then, ano yan, may investment ka na 5 million on your company. Let's say, for example, after operations, medyo nagastos yan, no? Umutang ka ng 10 million, example lang, and then nag-pandemic, hindi mo nabayaran. So, yung creditor magra-run after sa'yo, di ba? Sa iyong negosyo as sole proprietor. Now, pagpunta niya sa iyong asset, wala nang natira. Example. Dahil sole proprietorship yan, pwede mag-go beyond the investment. You go beyond the investment. They have to, you can go beyond the investment of of that person. So 5 million lang, pagtingin doon na wala nang laman ang negosyo mo, pwedeng ma-attach yung real properties, personal properties, and so on. Pwede yun. So, unlike kung korporasyon, kung may investment ka na 5 million sa subscription of shares, no? And then later on, what's this? Later on, nagkautang ang corporation ng 100 million. So, hindi kayo nakabayad as a corporation. That creditor cannot run after beyond the amount that you invest, the amount of your investment. No? So, kung 5 million lang yan, hanggang 5 million lang. So, kung pagtingin niya sa korporasyon na wala ng asset, hindi, ideally, a general rule, it, that creditor cannot go beyond your investment. However, if it can be proven that you defrauded the creditors, or you find ways in order to transfer the income of the company to your account, then pwede yan ma-pierce ang veil of corporate entity. So, pwede mag-go beyond. Kung ma-prove na nag-defraud your creditors. Okay? So, ganun po yun. Then, so, and the taxation, syempre, pag corporation, corporate tax rate ang gagamitin. Pag individual, depende. That's the thing that we're going to discuss this afternoon. No, kung ano yung, how do we compute it, kung purely compensation income earner ka, kung self-employed ka, or mixed income earner. We will discuss that this afternoon. Okay? So now, if you've decided what business to form, then you have to register with the BIR and you have these three obligations. You have to register, to file, and to pay. Okay? So you have to do that. So once you register, you have to file kahit zero yung income. And then, of course, you only pay when you have a tax due. Okay? We will amplify that later. Now, registration, when we talk about registration, you go to the BIR, what's this, you register, we ano, the official receipts, bibigyan ka official receipts, books of accounts. And by the way, yung ask for receipt ngayon po yung deadline, baka po kayo may negosyo, red pa po yung ask for receipt, ngayon po yung deadline, dapat na-submit nyo yan, na-replace nyo ng green. Dapat green na po yan ngayon. Otherwise, baka pumunta sa inyo yung BIR, pag ganun pa rin, pula pa rin, posible hong ma-penalize kayo. So, kung may, by the way, kung may negosyo kayo, anong oras na? 3:50 na. So, kung may chance pa yung inyong staff dyan na pumunta sa BIR to replace that red, ask for receipt, ano, you have to replace that with the green one. Okay? So, ganun. Okay, so yan yung mga certificate of registration or COR as they call it, the annual registration fee, the ask for receipt, dapat naka-display yan sa place of business. Your certificate of registration, nakalagay dyan kung anong taxes yung dapat mong bayaran. Okay? So, yun po. Then, ganito na po ngayon dapat yun. So, I hope you have this already. Otherwise, good luck. Okay, so, dapat to, napalitan po yan. I hope it can be extended. I don't know if it's extended, but yun. Now, during the business, okay, ano yung obligation mo? Okay, first you have to register, then during the business, your obligation is to file and to pay. Okay? Now, what is income taxation? When we talk about income taxation, of course, it is governed by the trade law or the RA 12963 or the tax reform for acceleration and inclusion. That's the package one. Package two is the create law. And the package three, yung valuation reform sana. So effectivity, once you try to know a certain law, is very important that uh, you know the effectivity date. No? Kasi pag sinabing effectivity, from that date to uh, the present or kung kailan uh, hindi na-amend ang law, applicable yon. Okay? So, before January 1, 2018, hindi po train law ang ginagamit natin, yung previous law. Okay? Sige. We know already that taxation is the inherent power of a sovereign state to raise money or revenue necessary to finance the functions and operations of the government. It's the lifeblood of the government. Okay? So, the purpose of the train is to make our country's tax system simple, fair, and efficient. Now, what is income tax? Um, before, no, during the pandemic, marami ang was this, marami nag-complain kung bakit they are required to register. Ideally, it is naman in the law naman pa eh. Once you are uh, conducting a business, you have to register. Diba? You have to issue receipts. Diba? How can you issue receipts if you're not registered? Diba? So, it's not because you are being run after by the BIR because you are but um, nag-iba lang kasi yung platform eh. Dati kung may physical store, ngayon online store na, di ba? So, whatever is the requirement for a physical store, it should be the same requirement for an online store. Di ba? Both of you are earning income. That's why you have to follow the rules on that. So, um, what is income tax? When we talk about income tax, it's a tax on all yearly profits arising from property, profession, trades, or offices as a tax on a person's income, emoluments, profits, and the rest. It's generally regarded as an excise tax. It is not levied upon persons, property, uh, okay. It's generally regarded as an excise tax. It's not levied upon persons, property, funds, or profits, but upon the right of the persons to receive income or profit. So if you have that right, okay, to receive income or profit, then you have to pay the corresponding income tax. You have to register. Okay, so that's why even YouTubers, they have to, or influencers, they have to register ideally, especially if they're earning income. Now, so the revenue regulation that governs the taxation and income tax, no? So is the RA, the Revenue Regulation number 8-2018. So what is the general principle? If you're a citizen of the Philippines residing therein, you are taxable on all income derived from sources within and without the Philippines. So within and without the Philippines, you have to uh, uh, what's this? You have to pay. You have to declare that. So if you are a citizen of the Philippines, let's say, and you are a resident citizen, so if you have income here in the Philippines, let's say worth 10 million, then you have income abroad of 3 million, you add it. No? Yan yung gross income mo. Okay? Pero kung non-resident citizen ka, you are only taxable on income derived from sources within the Philippines. Okay? So, kung ano lang ang income mo dito sa Pilipinas, yun lang yung taxable. Now, pag overseas contract worker, only income derived from sources within the Philippines. Okay? Pag alien individual, whether a resident or not of the Philippines, you are taxable only on income derived from sources within the Philippines. Okay, so pag individual ang pinag-uusapan, yung citizen, resident citizen lang ang taxable within and outside na income, no? So, within and outside the Philippines na income. Whereas kung non-resident, OFW, and alien individual, within the Philippines lang ang basis or ang gross ang dapat kasama sa gross income. Pag domestic corporation, when we say domestic corporation, ito po yung corporation na 60, at least 60% Filipino ownership and at most 40% foreign ownership. So, pag ganyan po ang structure ng ating company, no? So, ang structure ng ating company, you are taxable on income derived from sources within and outside the Philippines. Okay? Pero pag foreign corporation, whether engaged or not in trade or business in the Philippines, they are taxable on only on income derived from sources within the Philippines. Okay? Ang gross income, when we talk about gross income, it means income, gain, or profit subject to tax. It includes compensation for personal and professional services, business income, profits, lahat ng income na nare-derive mo, whether legal or illegal, unless exempt from tax, unless the Constitution, tax, treaty, or statute. So that's the reason why, no? Even if those incomes derived from corruption or whatever, pag makita na ang dineclare mo lang is 1 million, nagkaroon ng ka ng property na 100. So, yung 99, parang undeclared income. Parang ganun. So, there is such kind of audit that they're doing sometimes. No? So, that's how it is. No? So, there's a reason why also, di ba, during investigation, sometimes BIR nagpa-file ng tax evasion cases to those persons being investigated na mayroong mga other properties and under their name. No? Allowable deductions, it could be optional standard deduction, or it's an amount not exceeding 40% of the gross sales receipts for individuals and gross income for corporations, or itemized deductions, which pag sinabing optional standard deduction, if you think your expense will not exceed 40%, okay, better off for optional standard deduction. But if you think that your expense will exceed 40%, then you can offer itemized deduction. So lahat yan, dito sa optional standard, you don't need substantiation. You don't need receipts for that. But if it is itemized, dapat po may resibo. Supported yan ng document, no? Whether contract, whether receipts, no? So, kailangan documented yan. Now, when we say taxable income, gross less allowable deduction, you have taxable income. Okay? It refers to the pertinent items of gross income specified in the code. Yung sinabi natin kanina, less deduction. Either optional or itemized deduction. So you get the taxable income. Once you have a taxable income, that would be the basis. Doon po, yan po ang basis ng sa income tax rate. No? Yun yung kukumpitan ng tax. If you will compare the previous tax rate and now, there's a reason why, if you can recall, yung nagreklamo yung mga online sellers na eto na nga, pandemic na nga, uh, nagtatrabaho ng marangal and all of that, and then suddenly you are requiring us to do that. The BIR is telling us na, hey, we're just asking you to register. It doesn't mean to say na you have something to pay. Okay? Kasi if you will look into the 22 to eh, let's go to 2023 later. Okay, let's just use this. Merong sa 2023 ba yung rate, no? This one, not over 250,000 is 0%. So meaning, if your taxable income, meaning gross less allowable deduction, is not over 250,000, wala po kayong babayaran. Diba? Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. So let's say, for example, your gross income is 500. You have an expense of 300. So you have 200 taxable income. According to the, if you will look into the tax table, 0%. Diba? So, ganun po. That's how you compute it. Okay? We are just running, this is not the main topic here. This is just an overview for you to have an idea of how you compute things. No? So, eto, ang basis mo dito is usually the taxable income. No? Meaning gross less allowable deduction. That's the taxable income. Now, I mentioned kanina, I asked you kanina whether you're purely compensation income earner or self-employed or mixed income earner. Kasi yun yung types ng individuals. What we are discussing here are taxation on individuals lang. We will not discuss on corporate taxation. No? So here, a purely compensation income earner ka, it means that the individual whose source of income is purely derived from employer-employee relationship. Meaning, meron kang employer, you're the employee, and then you earn income. That may 15-30 kayong sweldo, you're entitled to holiday pay, may control sa'yo. Diba? When we say employer-employee relationship, may control sa inyo ang inyong employer. They will tell you what is your objective, what are your quotas, and all that. Diba? Tapos, regular naman yung sweldo niya banda, no? So, hindi kagaya ng self-employed na kung may ginawa ka, saka ka babayaran. Di ba? Kung wala, wala kang bayad. Ito, minsan kung nagpe-Facebook ka lang sa office nyo, I hope you're not doing that. Kasi very, sadly, no, minsan merong iba po lalo na sa government, may iba na makikita mo na, I've had an experience, no? I know it's not all naman. I hope no if they are the frontliners, no, sila yung nag-receive na empleyado, nag-receive ng mga clients. I hope they are a little bit polite and they say things properly. No? Kasi there are some people who are really stressed and all. Same is true with us. No? When we deal with the government officials, we have to be polite as well. May ibang, just recently I had experience na parang sigaw ng sigaw ang babae, a government official at that. No? Nako, masakit na ang kamay ko. Actually, kung tinanggap niya yun, tapos na ang trabaho, sometimes people forget that was this, parang you are fortunate that you have a job. There are a lot of people who wants that job, but they don't have that opportunity. They were not given that opportunity. If you have that job, you have to value that. And if you are in business, if you are tired, if you are, sometimes it's so hard if you keep on complaining. You should, sometimes you just have to be grateful. Because you're busy, it means that you're earning. Other people want to be in your shoes. So once you are grateful, you don't feel that was this yung parang tired ka or whatever. And it's so hard sometimes, I tell you. Once you complain, ako, pagod na ako. You can see some artists, na yung mga actors and actresses na complaining about kasi pagod na siya, ganyan-ganyan, may mga attitude na, and sadly, nawalan sila ng work, di ba? It's ano din. So, sometimes be careful for what you wish for. You might just get it. No? So, we have to be careful with our words. We have to be careful with, and we should be grateful every time we have that, that opportunity. No? So, anyway, going back. So, hindi porket may isweldo kayo, you'll not do anything. You have to learn also every time, dun sa ano. But if you're not happy also in certain environment, you are not growing, then you have to find ways also in order for you to grow. Diba? And you might earn more, no, when you're happy. Okay? So, now, once you are a purely compensation income earner, uh, when we say compensation income, lahat ng nare-receive mo as an employee. No? Salaries, wages, emoluments, honoraria, lahat yan. Okay? Subject yan sa tax. No? So, your accountant will have some withholding tax na inaano nila, kinakaltas na kaagad sa sahod. However, if you are a minimum wage income earner, you are considered to be exempt. Okay? So, once you're exempt, walang withholding tax na minaminus pag minimum wage income earner po kayo. Okay? Um, Husband and wife shall compute their individual income tax separately. What's this? Um, be, and if any income cannot be definitely attributed to or identified as income, exclusively earned or realized by either of the spouses, the same shall be divided equally between the spouses for the purpose of determining the respective taxable income. Okay, so ganun po. Minimum wage earners shall be exempt from the payment of income tax, no? Based on, there's a law on that, diba? Statutory minimum wage rate. So kung kayo po ay minimum wage income earner, wala talagang withholding tax. And but, if you're let's say supervisor, hindi kayo minimum wage income earner, may mga withholding tax po yan. Lahat po ng nare-receive nyo. So yung accountant nyo, yun po yung nagpo-compute. And usually, if you don't need naman the income scale, the return, no? uh, they usually have that substituted filing. Okay. So they just file that one, and that's equivalent as if you file the tax return, no? But if you are naman, for those who type number two, you're self-employed and or professionals, no? So wala kang employer, eh, ikaw yung boss na sarili mong negosyo, di ba? So you're self-employed or professional. Paano kinocompute ang income ninyo? Income tax ninyo? So with that, when we say self-employed, you know that, no? Independent contractor po kayo. As I've said, uh, kung may benta kayo, may commission kayo. Pag wala kayong benta, wala kang commission, di ba? Pero kung marami kang benta, marami kang mga commission. So it depends on the production that you have, no? So there is no employer-employee relationship. You have your time, you know what to do, and meron lang mga withholding tax na minaminus sa'yo. So you're an independent contractor. When you are a professional, of course, you are, let's say for example, you have those PRC licenses. So you conduct your business as a professional, then you are also under this bracket, under this type. So how do you compute your income? When you try to register as such, kung mag-open ka ng negosyo, ang unang tatanungin, ano ka ba, registered or non-VAT? I suggest if you think naman na hindi ganun kalaki uh, I guess it's better to start with non-VAT, no? And then, para it's easier kasi to change from non-VAT to VAT, VAT to non-VAT. No? So, pag purely self-employed kayo, so, um, and you choose to be non-VAT and your income does not exceed 3 million pesos, you have two options. You can opt for 8% income tax on gross sales or 250,000 on gross sales excess of 250,000 in lieu of graduated income tax rate or income tax based on the graduated income tax rates for the individual. So, pwede kayong 8% or yung graduated rate, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina na pag hindi nag-exceed ng 250, ganyan. So, or gross less allowable deduction yung taxable income, then you go to the tax table. Ganun yun. So, so this is the graduated rate. No? So this is for 2022, this is for 2023. Okay, so not over 250, zero. Pag over 400, not over 400, over 250 but not over 400, 20%. Diba? So ganun po yung how they compute. Okay, so pag self-employed, so ang VAT threshold po natin, for the income ha, iba po yung sa real properties, 3 million. Okay? Pag mag-exceed po kayo ng threshold, your option only is for graduated rate. No? You don't have the option for 8%. Yung 8% sa gross basis, less to 50,000 times 8%, yun na yung income tax mo. Okay? Unlike kung graduated rate ka, gross less allowable deduction, then you go to the graduated rate. Okay? So, ganun po yun. Now, pag 8% po kayo, ang option nyo is 8%, you don't have to pay to file the financial statements. It's not required. Now, if you're a mixed income earner, we'll just combine the two. Okay? For the income from compensation, graduated rate ang ginagamit. Yung accountant yung nagpo-compute for you. For your income on business, same rule. Pag non-VAT po kayo, you can offer 8% and graduated rate. Pag VAT po kayo, graduated rate lang. Pag graduated rate po ang option nyo, you still have to pay VAT. No, that's quarterly already. No? VAT rate na is quarterly. For non-VAT, pag graduated rate, aside from the um, income tax, you have to pay for the quarterly percentage tax. No? So, ganun po yun. Pag mixed income earner, you combine the two. No? For your income from businesses, kung sa first one, yung purely self-employed, nagmaminus ka pa ng 250,000, dito, you don't deduct already 250,000 from the gross sales kung 8% ang i-choose mo. Kasi ginamit na yun dun sa computation ng income mo from compensation. Kasi isang return lang yan eh. So pag graduated rate, same rule, no? We have the gross, less allowable deduction, taxable income, and then we go to the graduated rate, which we discussed kanina. So we know already who are mixed income earner, you are employed, and you have a business. So what are your other obligations? So aside from that, you have to pay the annual registration fee. Once you register, you have to pay the annual registration fee of 500, and then business tax, value added tax 12%. Quarterly po ang payment nito. Okay? Wala na pong monthly. Quarterly na po ito ngayon. And the percentage tax until June 30 until now, you can use the 1%. After that, to the 3% already. Okay, so yun. So 1% up to June 30, 2023. So net question, if you receive 90,000, nag-withhold ng, your commission is 100. And then nag-withhold ng 10, 90 ang na-receive mo. What is the basis of the 1%? Is it the 100 or the 90? Is it the 100 or the 90? Can you type in the chat box? Okay. O lahat kayo 90. The answer is 100. You have to add back. Now you will ask, Bakit 190 lang ang na-receive ko? Dapat po 100. Yung withholding tax po is an advance payment of your income tax due. So let's illustrate. That's the reason why I use this. I usually discuss this because there's a misconception on that. The 10% does not go to the group, does not go to the developer. That's why you have to ask for the 2307. So in which case, sabi sa law, pag professional fees daw, uh, okay, pag individual payee, okay, 5% if did not, if does not exceed 3 million. Pag more than 3 million, 10%. Okay? Okay. Pag less than 3 million, 5%. Pag more than 3 million, yung income mo, 10% ang withholding tax. Okay? Now, pag pag ganito, let's say for example, granting 10%, you have a commission of 100 withholding tax of 10%, so 100 less 10, you have 90. So you should ask from your developer the 2307 para to support the 10. So now, come April, you're going to file your annual income tax return. So 40 less 10, you have 30. So, dahil may withholding tax ka, instead of 40,000 ang babayaran mo, 10,000 na lang. Okay? For your tax due, so 40 less 0, then you have 40. So, kung walang withholding tax, ang babayaran mo 40. So, saan napunta? Mapupunta rin yan sa'yo kasi it's just an advance payment of your income tax due. Kaya po, pag ano mo is 100,000 ang basis. Now, for non-individual payee, if gross income for current year did not exceed 720, then 10%. If gross income exceeds 720, and that's 15%. Okay? So your obligation again is to file and to pay. No? So during the business. And good thing that we have already the EBIR forms. You can submit online. And of course, you can also pay online. Okay, so you don't have to go to the banks to pay. You can pay through GCash, through PayMaya, and all those online platforms or e-channels. So, yun. So again, as a taxpayer, please take note of your obligation to register, to file, and to pay. So that's income tax for you. Then let's go to the main topic for this afternoon, which is the sale, taxation on sale of real properties. Where is it? Donors and estate tax. Okay, so are you still okay? Okay, everything okay. Sige, let's proceed. Okay, I hope you're still learning. Okay, thank you, thank you. Sige, let's proceed. Now, we will discuss now. So we all know that's the lifeblood of the government. We know that taxation. uh, and we have to know the two laws, no, governing the real estate transaction. We discussed this morning about local government taxation, and now we will be discussing all those taxes that we will pay in the BIR. Okay? Now, before we proceed, I would like to know, where are you going to pay the real property tax? Can you write in the chat box your answer? A, BIR, B, local government unit. Please type in the chat box. Okay, thank you for your answers. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. So the answer is local government unit. Okay. So we will discuss on taxation and sale of real properties. Again, this is governed by the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion, or the TRAIN law, Effectivity, take note of the effectivity, January 1, 2018. Okay, the values that we have to consider, we have the fair market value, we have the zonal value, and we have the assessor's value. Okay, fair market value as well, if you're going to differentiate it with ano, usually here when we talk about fair market value, in this scenario, it's more on the selling price. No, it's usually reflected on the, because usually whatever is the selling price, that's the amount in which the seller is willing to sell and the buyer is willing to buy, both with being no of normal pressure to sell or buy. Diba? So once we try to compare the market values here for taxation in that we pay, or the taxes that we pay in BIR, we consider the selling price, diba? The zonal value, and the assessor's value. When we talk about zonal value, this is the fair market value determined by the BIR. And when we talk about assessor's value, this is the fair market value determined by the city or provincial assessor. If you can remember, di ba, doon sa tax deck, meron doon market value, merong assessed value. So here, in this topic, we will use the market value that you see in the tax deck. So this is the assessor's value that we were talking about. Now, can you type 1 if you know where to find the zonal value? Type 2 kung hindi nyo alam. Be honest so that I know if I need to discuss it. Okay, so marami nang may alam. If you know how to use that, mhm. So marami din ang hindi, ano. Thank you for answering. I'm fond of asking question kasi para I know the profile of my audience. Kasi, bawat, bawat participant, no, iba-iba yung profile. So, thank you for being honest. No? So that I know that I need to have a quick tutorial. Okay, so, okay. So, para nyo malaman kung paano makuha ang zonal value, I'll stop sharing first. And then, sige, I'll share here. We go to the website of the BIR. The website is, can you see my screen? The website is www.bir.gov.ph. So, um, once you're here, may chatbot sila dyan, and then, wait lang, what happened? Ano nangyari? So, we try to see here zonal values. Diba? Here you can see dito, di ba, zonal values. So, bawat RDO may zonal value yan. So, di ba, we are from different places. We're here. So, kung ano man yung RDO nyo, nandyan yan. So, let's say, for example, you are from, I'm from Makati. So, let's go to Makati. RDO 47. Let's use this. So, we have here RDO 47, Makati, Legazpi Village. So, you download the zip Excel file. Diba? Parang tutorial lang ang pen. So, zip file, you download that one. Wait lang. It's downloading. May YouTuber ba dito? Meron ba dito may YouTube channel? While we are waiting for the file to download, meron ba dito? Or shy lang? Anyone? Parang Paul, sinasabi mo wala po, pero baka ikaw. Hindi, sige. Anyway, sige. Okay. So we have here the downloaded file. I'll just stop sharing because it will not show kasi it's a different file, no? So I'll just stop sharing. Wait lang. I'll just open it. Okay. At least we are running through how to uh, find the zonal value, diba? Okay, wait lang. What's the time? Hanggang 6 tayo, di ba? Bakit cannot be opened? Wait lang, it cannot be opened now. So, yung na-download yung zip file, you will click the Excel file. Okay, this is, now I'll share the screen. I'll share the screen. Wait a moment. Here. So, eto po yung itsura nun. Okay? This is the Excel file that we downloaded. So, you can see here the effectivity dates. Diba? You can see the effectivity dates. Very important yan. Kasi it's possible na meron po kayong deed of sale. Okay? Meron kayong deed of sale na um, deed of sale na nanotaryuhan noon pa, pero ngayon nyo lang pinaprocess. So, nanotaryuhan nyo, let's say for example, 1999. So, titingnan nyo dito yung effectivity dates ng mga zonal value. So, 1999, asan ka ba? So, here. From January 13, 1998 to October 16, 2012. So, fourth revision. So, sheet number 5. So, ito pala yun. So, ito yung i-click nyo. Diba? Kung ano yan. So, yung sheet number 5. Pero kung let's say, for example, ang transaction nyo ay ngayon lang, so, what you will click is the present, no? The present value, or present value, yung pinaka-latest, yung latest na, na sheet. So, sheet number 8. So, ito po yung itsura nun. So, if you are going to run through it, if you can notice, you have here kung ano yung definition of terms, nandyan yan. And then, meron dyan kung ano yung code. Yeah? Yung iba, we just take this for granted. We just go directly to the values. No? But if you're going to try to read through that, you'll know that RR means residential regular. CR, diba? Pag hindi nyo alam, iba yung nasa isip nyo. CR is commercial regular. Yung RC, hindi yan po inumin. It's residential condominium. CC is commercial condominium and so on. So, meron po yan kung anong code. Meron din yan further kung anong klase yung agricultural land. Rice land irrigated ba yan? Rice land and irrigated. Dapat may proof kayo kung paano yan. Otherwise, they will go to the highest amount usually. Di ba? So, that's why you have to have proof na ito yon. Kaya ito lang dapat ang value. Di ba? Ganun yan. So, anyway. So, at least we know na meron pala yan. No? Baka yung iba nakakita na alam na kung saan kukunin, pero hindi natin nakita na we have to examine pala certain documents na ito pala ang ibig sabihin nun. Okay, so let's proceed. So let's go to, let's say may binebenta kang lupa sa East Drive. Now, the value there, the zonal value is 750,000 per square. So 750,000 per square, pag yan ang makita mo, that's only for the land. Pero ang binebenta mo, land and building. Ang value ng building, 1 billion. Kasi Ayala yun. Diba? Yung 750,000 per square is only for the land. So you multiply that with the land, and then you have the value, zonal value for the land. Since para maging comparable sa selling price mo na 1 billion, dapat yun yung ating pinag-uusapan, billion, para ganun din yung ma-attract natin, di ba? So, anyway, 1 billion. So, that's for the land and the building. So, this one, we add yeah, what do we add? We add the market value of the building to the land in order for you to get the zonal value of the land and the building. So, di ba merong separate na tax debt ang building? So, yung market value na makikita mo dyan, i-add mo sa sa zonal value ng land para meron kang value for the zonal value of the land and the building. So, we know already the selling price, 1 billion, then we add the value of the land plus the value of the building market value. You have the zonal value for the land and the building. Then we compare the market value in the tax declaration of the land and the market value of in the tax declaration of the building for the assessor's value. So we have already a comparable values. So what I'm trying to point out lang, yung 750 na makikita mo dyan is only for the land. You still have to add the value of the building in the tax declaration. Okay? You have to add it to have the value for the land and the building. Then for the condo units, okay, meron din yan. Kasi yung meron lang ano is the land and the condo. No? So dito may makikita rin kayong condo. Sandali ha. Meron dyan nakalagay. Let's say Amor Solo Condominium. RC is residential condominium. So 85,000 per square, you multiply it with the area, so that is your zonal value. Pag parking slot, yung PS, hindi yan PS I love you, hindi ko yan. So pag PS, sabi 70,000 per square, so kung may binibenta kayong parking slot din dyan sa condominium na yan, yung zonal value niya, multiply for the sa area, so 70,000 times, let's say, 12.5 square meters, that would be the value or the zonal value for the parking slot. So, ganun po yan. No? I'm just showing you where you'll find it. So, I hope you learn now where to find it and how to read the zonal value. I hope you learn from that. Okay? Sige, let's proceed. Are we okay? Okay pa tayo? Nagsisimula pa lang tayo, hindi pa ho tayo nasa ano. Okay pa ba? Okay, sige. Si Charlie pa lang ang nagano. Okay, thank you for that heart. Sige, baba. Okay, let's proceed. Mhm. Saan na ba ako? Here. So, we compare that. And, okay, as we discussed, no, yung may zonal value lang, yung land and condo. Yung building, walang zonal. Ang gagawin natin para makuha yung zonal value ng land and building, yung land ng zonal value ng land, we add the market value in the tax declaration of the building. You add that so that you have the zonal value for the land and the building. For the condo, of course, kanina sa computation natin, we just multiply the zonal value located therein times the area. So, para may zonal value ka na for the condo. Okay, so ganun po yan. So the zonal value started in 1986 to the present. Before that, if you had transaction before that, what we will use is the market value in the tax declaration. Now, as illustrated, you can see that in the VIR website, you have this one. Then, of course, the fair market value in the tax declaration for the assessor's value. That's why I amplified that in a while ago, no, in the first part of our discussion, na makikita natin yung market value doon sa tax deck. Yun po yung gagamitin kung magko-compute tayo for the assessor's value. Diba? Kung land and building yan, you get the market value in the tax deck of the land and the market value in the tax deck of the building. You add that para may it will be comparable already. Kasi land and building lahat. So whichever is higher, that will be the basis. Okay? So, sige. Now, this is very important. And this is the usual concern whenever there is a sale. Okay? The difference between capital asset and ordinary asset. Marami talaga ang pag hindi ito na-calculate, na-miscalculate, let's say na-miscalculate ito, most of the time, your client will be sad na hindi pala yun dapat ang kanyang naging selling price. Kasi maliit na lang ang naging neto niya. Diba? So that's the reason why we have to do this. Because at least we can guide our clients. Diba? Now, sorry, before determining the applicable tax rate for any real estate transaction, the classification of the real property must be determined as to whether it is a capital or an ordinary asset. Okay. Para natin malaman kung anong tax ang babayaran. Dapat alam muna natin kung ang binebenta mong property, capital asset ba or ordinary asset. So ano naman ang capital asset? Ano naman ang ordinary asset? When we talk about capital asset, as defined, is the property held by the taxpayer whether or not connected with his trade or business, but does not include stock in trade of the taxpayer, other property of a kind, which would properly be included in the inventory of the taxpayer if on hand at the close of the taxable year, property held by the taxpayer primarily for sale to customers in the ordinary course of his trade or business, property used in trade or business of a character which is subject to the allowance of depreciation provided under the tax code, real property used in trade or business of a taxpayer. In short, ordinary assets are those included in items number 1 to 5. Okay? So, ito po, okay, stock in trade, pag masasabi mong capital asset, kung hindi mo makikita dyan, kasi 1 to 5, considered yan na ordinary asset. So meaning, kung stock in trade yan, inventaryo mo yan sa inyong business, or held primarily for sale mo yan, like the condominium units sold, ano, held primarily for sale yan, it is subject for depreciation, it is used in trade or business, ordinary asset yan. Pag hindi any of those 5, then the property is a capital asset. Do we still have time? We still have time. Okay. We are until 6, diba? We still have time. So, since we still have time, sige. Medyo gusto kong marinig naman yung mga participants natin. Baka yung iba tinutulugan na tayo or nagsha-shopping na dyan, di ba? So, para fair, medyo tatawag tayo yung naka-close ang cam. Okay ba yon? Fair ba yun sa mga naka-open ang cam? Okay, sige. You can answer in the chat box, ha? Yung mga tatawagin ko lang. Don't be shy, it's okay. You just answer me whether it's a capital asset or an ordinary asset. Okay? Sige. Pili muna tayo ng, okay, ng Alan J. Cariaga. Are you there? Alan J. Just type yes or no. Are you there, Alan J? Oh, thank you for answering. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Okay. Let's say, for example, Sir Allen, you have a house and land. Doon po kayo nakatira. Okay? Tapos you decided na you wanted to sell it. Okay? Now, kasi sabi, do you have a province, sir? Sir Allen? Where are you from? Oh, talaga from, where are you from? Taga saan po kayo? Taga Nueva Ecija. So, meron kang property dito sa Metro Manila. Since you decided, dito na ako sa Nueva Ecija, gusto mong i-benta. Pero doon kayo dito kayo nakatira, no, before. Now, question. Sabi natin kanina, para mo malaman kung magkano tax ang babayaran mo, dapat alam mo muna kung capital ba yun or ordinary asset ang binebenta mo. Can you follow? Now, question. Ang tanong, diba? Yung house and lot na binebenta mo, Sir Allen, is it a capital asset or an ordinary asset? What do you think, Sir Allen? Just choose. Okay lang kung magkamali, walang, okay, thank you. Sige, let's call another. Sir Reynaldo. Doon tayo sa makabagong mga pangalan. Sir Reynaldo. Parang Godora lang yan, di ba? Sir Reynaldo, are you there? Sir Reynaldo Corbett. Do you agree? How about the rest? Do you agree it's an ordinary asset? Yes or no? The rest, how about the rest? Is it an ordinary asset or a capital asset? Oh, who said no? Gladys, it's an or is it a capital asset or an ordinary asset, Gladys? Mason, sandali, nawala ka na. Okay, it's a capital asset. Thank you, Miss Gladys. Actually, it's a capital asset. It's not an ordinary asset. Okay? It's a capital asset. Kasi, yung bahay na binebenta ni Sir Allen, hindi siya stock in trade. Di ba? Hindi niya na yan inventaryo. Kasi hindi naman siya nagbebenta ng bahay at lupa eh. Diba? Hindi ba yung nag-dealer siya ng bahay at lupa? Hindi held primarily for sale. Kasi doon nga sila nakatira eh. Wala siyang financial statement wherein that is declared na subject to depreciation. And hindi niya used in business. So in which case, since hindi siya any of those five, the property is a capital asset. Can you follow? Now, let's call another. Thank you. So, di ba okay lang kahit magkamali, hindi naman ako nagagalit, di ba? Wala naman tong grade eh. So, let's call another. Let's call from the female group. Um, Ma'am Maylene, ang ganda ng smile ni Ma'am Maylene sa picture. Yes, Ma'am Maylene Baldisco, are you there? Ano ba to si Ma'am? Bakit naman to nag-grade recitation pa? Yes or no lang naman. Are you there, Ma'am Maylene? Yes or no? Wala si Ma'am Maylene. Wait lang. Ma'am Melanie, are you there, Ma'am Melanie? Yes or no? Ma'am Melanie? Naku, nag-roll call na ako nito. Wait lang. Parang ayaw na lang ano. Ma'am Judith, are you there? Ma'am Judith? Parang mag-roll call ata ako dito. Ma'am Judith, are you there? Oh, nandiyan ba sila? Okay. Hi, Melanie. Okay. Let's say, Ma'am Melanie, you are, okay. Let's say, for example, Ma'am Melanie, you are a developer, di ba? And then you have a business, you're a developer, and then you constructed a condominium project. And then you sold one unit worth 10 million pesos. Question: what is the classification of that unit? Is it ordinary or capital? Ma'am Melanie. Very good. It's Melanie. It's ordinary asset, diba? So, okay, thank you for that. Sige, tama. Okay. That's an ordinary asset. Thank you, Ma'am Melanie. So, now, we said na very important po na we know the classification. Kasi once we know kung capital o ordinary yan, alam natin kung ano yung tax na babayaran. Diba? So, by the way, the foreclosed asset of the bank are considered to be ordinary assets. So, if it is a capital asset, just like nung kay Sir Allen, diba? Mga stalling kayo ngayon, Sir Allen and Ma'am Melanie. Kasi kayo yung sumagot sa akin. No? So, this is si Sir Allen. Maraming property kasi yan si Sir Allen. No? Pinenta niya yung house and lot niya kasi magta-transfer siya sa kanyang ibang property. No? So, since that is a capital asset, ang babayaran niya is capital gains tax. And capital gains tax is 6% based on the gross selling price or zonal value or market value in the tax declaration, whichever is higher. So, the basis or kung ano ang pinakamataas sa tatlo. Okay? Yung selling price, makikita natin yan sa deed of sale. Yung zonal value, I showed it to you kung saan makikita yan. Ang market value in the tax declaration, makikita mo yan sa tax declaration. Diba? You compare the three, whichever is higher times 6%. Okay, let's have an exercise. You type in the chat box kung ano ang basis. Okay? Kung selling price ba, zonal value ba, or market value in the tax declaration. Or just write the amount. Okay? Okay. Selling price 15 million, zonal value 20M, assessor's value 8. What is the basis of the tax? Okay, sige, sige. Thank you. Diba? Kasi para hindi kayo antukin dyan. So, ano ba nangyayari dito sa aking, ano? Sige, okay. 20M, correct. Kahit anak nyo, alam to. I'm sure. Okay. So, let's say 17M, 16M, 18M. What's the basis? Just type 18M. Okay, 18M. Then 5M, 3M, 2M. What's the basis? 5M. Okay. So, whichever is higher. So, we have, okay. The question, is it always the selling price? Question, is it always the selling price? No, no. So, kasi I'm emphasizing that because sometimes you just compute right away, no? Sa selling price. You should always have the disclaimer na, oh, we have to check for the zonal value and the assessor's value before we can determine the the capital gains tax. It's not always the selling price. There are instances wherein zonal value ang malaki, maliit ang selling price. That's the reason why they have valuation reform. Kasi, uh, pag, pag updated po ang zonal at market value, there's no room for undervaluation. Can you follow? Kasi kahit yung paliitin ang selling price niyo, kung ang zonal value mataas, ang basihan po ay zonal value. Or the market value is mataas, then that would be the basis. Can you follow? So, ganun po. Now, question. Is undervaluation of the amount in the sale legal? Actual selling price is 100 million. As zonal value is 10 million. So, ang linagay sa document is 10 million. Is it legal? Yes or no? Ang actual selling price is 100. Of course, it's not legal. So it's not legal. We have to be aware that there are uh, uh, we should be aware that it's not legal. Kasi kung hindi yan legal, alam natin na mayroong repercussions yan. Di ba? We know for a fact that there are deviations in the actual practice. But you should know that it's not legal. Since it's not legal, as I said, there are consequences on that. And you know, with the Anti-Money Laundering Act, if you deposit or you transmit an amount to a certain bank, no, or you transact a certain amount, they will ask for a document. Diba kung 100 million ang perang ilalabas mo, 10 million lang ang document mo, how would you prove the 90 million? Diba? And how would you support it? Diba? So, tatanungin ka nun. Very strict ngayon yung mga banks. Right? So those are the things you have to be aware of that. And then if the buyer is a foreigner, uh, especially if a U.S. citizen, they are very strict on that. That's why, based on my experience with my foreigner clients, they don't usually undervalue because their banks or their rules are very strict. In fact, when you transmit, they have to declare it also there. So that's it. So again, you know it's not legal, so you have to protect yourselves whenever you are there. You're into whenever your clients are having deviations, and you will tell them the consequences. No? At kung sakaling there is a problem on the transfer, pag magkaso ka, mahirapan ka magsabi na 100 million ang binayad, or 10 million lang yung pinanotaryuhan niyo. Diba? And it's so dangerous if you have two documents. So we are just laying down the consequences. In the actual practice, it is always your decision. Mga natatanda na kayo, alam niyo na kung anong tama at mali, di ba? So, alam niyo na how to, uh, ang sagwa naman yung natatanda, you're already mature enough. Mas magaling English, no? Pag, pagsabahin na yung ano, medyo pangit pakinggan. So, um, we are old enough to, we are mature enough to know what is right and wrong. So, at least we know already how to protect ourselves when the time comes. Okay? So, that's it. Sige. Now, so it's not legal. So, the return is capital gains tax return with Form 1706. And then, question, where are you going to pay? Seller is from Davao, buyer from Samar, property is in Lucena City, then salesperson is from Bulacan, parang tayo lang dito, no? Iba-ibang lugar natin. Notarized in Makati City. So where are you going to pay the capital gains tax? Can you type to the chat box? Lucena. Very good. No? Where the property is located. Pag sale. Okay, pag sale. Now, so usually you pay that where the property is located. In this case, it's Lucena City. And when are you going to pay that? Within 30 days following each sale or other disposition. Okay, so ganun. So usually they check the notarization date of the document or the deed of sale. So para malaman kung kailan yung 30th day, they check the notarization date. Okay? But if you submit documents contrary to the notarization date, then they might recon that date on that day. Kung lalo na kung mas earlier yun, ma-prove na yun yung inyong bayaran. So, pwede nilang i-compute na yun yung date ng sale. So, meron din kahit po corporation ang may-ari, it can also be considered yung may ibang properties nila na considered as capital asset and subject to the final capital gains tax of 6%. Okay? And the base is the same, selling price, zoning value, market value, tax calculation, whichever is higher. So, pag late filing ng payment, pag hindi ka makabayad on time, mayroong penalty of 25% surcharge on the basic tax, 50% surcharge in case of fraud or intent to evade tax. No? So, ganun po. And the interest is 12% per annum now. And of course, deficiency and delinquency interest shall in no case be imposed simultaneously. So, aside from the interest or the surcharge, you pay also the compromise penalty. So, subject to type of amount of tax due. No? So, then, yung documentary stamp tax. You have to pay documentary stamp tax. Documentary stamp tax must also be paid on the sale, exchange, or other disposition of real property based on the gross selling price or the fair market value as determined under Section 6E of the tax code, whichever is higher. So, DST, let's say for example, in the case of conveyances, 1,000 or less, 15 pesos. Each additional 1,000 is 15 pesos. Or sometimes we just as 1.5%. Pero you should, pag may butal na 500, example, instead of 1,000, 15 pesos na kaagad. Kasi even a fraction there of 15 pesos na. Okay, so on mortgages, pledges, and trust, when the amount secured is 5,000 or less, 40 pesos, additional 5,020 pesos. On lease agreement, first 2,006 pesos, each additional 1,000 is 2 pesos. Time and filing of documentary stamp tax returns and payment tax due thereon. Documentary stamp tax return shall be filed 5 days after the close of the month when the taxable document was made, signed, accepted, or transferred, and the tax thereon shall be paid at the same time that aforesaid return is filed. So, pag documentary stamp tax, okay, ang deadline po ay within 5 days after the close of the month. Pag capital gains tax, ang deadline po ay 30 days from the notarization date or the date of sale. Okay, so let's have an exercise. Let's say, for example, the date of sale is March 1. When is the deadline for the capital gains tax? Can you type the date? Sige, let's see. March 1 ang ano. Okay, I'll wait for your answer. Okay, just wait. I'll just drink water. Wait lang. Wait lang. Okay, when is the deadline for documentary stamp tax? Sige, wait lang. I'll just drink water. Talking, wala pala akong mic. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Kanina pa ako salita ng salita, wala pala akong mic. Anyway, sige po. For the capital gains tax, the deadline is March 31. For the, tama ba yung iba? Saan na ba yon? Ang haba na po. May iba na nakakorek. Thank you for that. Sige. Pag documentary stamp tax, ang answer nyo ay, okay, the answer is, taran, April 5. So, okay. Dapat alam niyo yung data kasi sa actual practice, yun yung ating inaano, di ba? So, what if the date of sale is March 31? When is the deadline for the capital gains tax? Can you type your answer? Thank you. Thank you very much. So the answer is April 30. So March 31, so exclude the first, include the last one to the 30. So when is the deadline for the documentary stamp tax? Okay, thank you. Try to answer. Okay na magkamali. Okay. Thank you. Um, iba-iba yung answer nyo. Okay, the answer is April 5. Di ba very important? This might be a simple question, but this matters because once you are practicing, talagang it matters, no? If you know the dates. Otherwise, meron kang penalty. Okay? So, pag isabay mo sa April 30 ang payment, may penalty na ba? Pag isabay mo ang payment. Yes. Paano yun? Pag sinabay, tapos merong surcharge na 300,000. Example lang. Kung ikaw ang seller or ikaw yung nag-utos dun sa salesperson, how would you feel? Bumalik ang salesperson sa'yo. Ay ma'am, kulang pa pala ng 300,000 kasi na-late. How would you feel? How would you react? Magagalit. Of course. Tapos angry, disappointed, upset, di ba? Yun yung mafe-feel ng client niyo. Kung sakaling hindi niyo alam ang mga deadlines, nagkamali kayo. Can you follow? So that's the reason why I have to emphasize on how to apply the theories into sa actual practice. Kasi that matters really. Thank you so much for responding. Diba? At least kahit sa chat box, alam ko yung nafe-feel ninyo. Diba? So, kung capital asset po, ang total tax na babayaran mo is 6% plus uh, documentary stamp uh, plus documentary stamp tax of 1.5%. So the total is 7.5%. Okay, so yeah, so the total is 7.5%. So 6 plus 1.5, so we have 7.5%. Question, si Sir Allen, di ba nagbenta siya ng house and lot? Di ba Sir Allen, talagang ikaw po ngayon yung starring. So, nagbenta siya ng house and lot for 10 million pesos. Si Sir Allen kasi maraming racket yan, no? May income siya na 5 million. Now, nagpa-file na siya ng income tax niya. Magkano ba ang i-declare niyang gross income? Isasama ba niya yung proceeds ng pagbenta niya ng house and lot considered as capital asset doon sa gross income niya, meaning 10 million plus 5 million, 15 million ang gross income niya or 5 million lang? What do you think? Dapat ba niyang i-add? Yes or no? Mhm. Sige, mix, di ba? Maganda rin yung nagtatanong pala, no? Para at least nalalaman yung mga minsan sa tingin nyo madali lang, pero yung pala, iba pala yung sagot. It's good that we will commit mistakes here rather than in actual practice kasi million ang pinag-uusapan dyan. Di ba? So, okay. Now, the answer is no. You don't have to add the 10 million to the 5 million. Because when we talk about capital gains tax, that's a final tax. So, it it covers everything. So the 10 million pesos proceeds will not be added anymore. Can you follow? Kung capital asset po ang sale subject of the property subject of the sale. Okay? Now, we go now to the next. What if, by the way, who pays the tax? Under the law, it should be the seller. But it can be passed on to the buyer. It depends on the agreement. Okay. Yung documentary stamp tax, pag capital gains tax, general yung taxation sa tax code, ang may obligation yan talaga yung seller. Pero, it can be agreed upon by the parties kasi buyer ang shoulder. Sometimes, kung ganyan yung agreement, sometimes gino-gross up po ng BIR na so buyer, since ikaw yung nag-shoulder, meaning to say the selling price is not only 10 million plus the tax that you shouldered. So the basis for the capital gains tax is not 10 million. 10 million plus the 6%. Parang ganun ang sinasabi. Okay, so that's how it is. Now,
BAR.
documentary stamp tax, it, it's either the buyer or the seller, according to the law. But again, it is agreed upon by the parties and usually it is shouldered by the buyer. But it depends again with the agreement of the parties. Okay? Now, as we mentioned, we have to determine whether the property subject of the sale capital or ordinary. Because was this once we know the classification, we will know what applicable tax, just like in the capital tax set. Now we go to the example of Ma'am Melanie. Ma'am Melanie, maraming pera si Ma'am Melanie, developer siya, nag-develop siya ng condominium project, and then nagbenta siya ng one condo unit worth 10 million pesos. Okay? We said that that is a ordinary asset. So, in which case, the tax that you pay is creditable withholding tax. Is it familiar to you, yung creditable withholding tax? Okay. Now, pag creditable withholding tax, okay, ang rate, pag exempt sa seller, exempt yung transaction. Pag habitually engaged in real estate business ang seller, pag 500,000 or less, it's 1.5%. Pag 500 but at more than 2 million, that's 3%. Pag more than 2 million, that's 5%. And who is habitually engaged? Those who are registered ngayon is not already HUD-C or HLURB, but DSUD, no? Or hindi man sila registered as engaged in real estate business, they have at least 6 taxable real estate transactions regardless of the amount. Okay? So, yun po. So banks are not considered to be habitually engaged, although the properties are considered to be ordinary asset. So the rate of that is 6%. Pag not habitually engaged, ang rate creditable withholding tax 6%. Now, so where or when are you going to pay that? What is the when is the deadline? No? Taxpayer mandated to electronically file and pay shall use the BIR electronic system, while those that mandated, of course, they have option to pay directly. Ngayon, e-BIR forms ang ginagamit po natin. In the case of uh, sale of real property considered as capital asset, the filing and payment of the tax due thereon shall be made within 30 days after the sale or disposition using BIR Form 1706. So, 30 days after the sale. So, ganun yan. Pag capital asset, di ba, we had even an exercise. However, pag ordinary asset, just like yung property ni Ma'am Melanie, the sale of real property considered as ordinary asset, the remittance of the tax withheld shall be made on or before the 10th day following the month of the transaction using BIR Form 1606. So, ang deadline po hindi po 30 days, but 10th day following the close of the month or following the month of transaction. So, if it is March 31, the deadline is April 10. So, hindi 30 days. People that pag ordinary asset. See the importance of knowing whether it's a capital asset or ordinary asset. So, and other withholding taxation transaction on lease rent or rentals, pag may lease, nagpapaupa po kayo, uh, there is a withholding tax of 5% on gross rentals, no? So, let's say 100,000 yung rental, so you have a withholding tax of 5%. So, 95 ang babayad sa iyo. Kung kayo ang lessor, babayad sa iyo 5%, i-remit nila. So, yung mga withholding tax na kinukuha sa atin as professional or this one, may obligation yung withholding agent to remit it. You don't keep it. Ha? You remit that to the PIR. Okay? Kasi yun din yung ibabayad sa income tax due nung kinunan mo, nung winandholdan mo. Diba? So, as we discussed kanina, tayo din, as professionals, kasi tayo, whether you are a licensed broker or hindi, in the view of the BIR, you are professionals. No? So, in which case, the ano there is pag less than 3 million, as we said, 5%, pag more than 3 million, 10%, pag, and the amount withheld, no, it should also be remitted. And for you to have a proof on that, you have to get Form 2307. So, pag non-individual payee, pag nag-exceed ng 720, that's 10%. Pag hindi nag-exceed ng 720, that's 15%. Pag nag-exceed ng 720, 15%. Pag hindi nag-exceed, 10%. Now, okay. Question. Si Ma'am Melanie nagbenta ng condo unit worth 10 million pesos. Si Ma'am Melanie may income from other sources worth 5 million pesos. Magko-compute na si Ma'am Melanie ng kanyang income tax return. Magkano ang i-declare na gross receipts ni Ma'am Melanie? Is it 5 million or only, or she has to add the 10 million with a total of 15 million? What do you think? Is it 15 million or just 5 million? Mm-hmm. Thank you for answering. At least I know you're still there, listening to me. 'Di ba? Pag nag-move po yung chat box, meaning may tao po diyan, 'di ba? Thank you. So 15 million. Correct, na 15 million. Kasi 'di ba pag tayo nabebenta tayo sa ating mga developer like sa Robinson, sa Federal Land, sa SM, sa lahat ng developers, DMCI, 'di ba yung mga condo na binibenta natin, part of the sales. So So you'll ask, what happened to the creditable withholding tax? The creditable withholding tax is just an advance payment of the income tax due. Ang implication talaga dyan, yung income tax implication. Kasi kasama siya sa gross sales, less expenses, kukumputan ng income tax minus the creditable withholding tax. So that is the amount tax due. So in short, ang impact talaga is the income tax implication pag ordinary asset. Plus, pag mag-exceed sa threshold na 3,199,200, pag magbenta ng house and lot worth 3,199,201 peso, nag-exceed na dyan, no? Kasi 3,199,200 and below, exempt sa VAT. Pero pag mag-exceed yan ng 1 peso or 1 centavo, so to speak, vatable na po. So, pag 4 million, ang selling price plus VAT, yan na 12%. Can you follow? So, see the impact kung sakaling ordinary asset, it's not only the creditable withholding tax and the documentary stamp tax that you have to pay. It includes also the income tax implication and the VAT. No? So that's the importance of knowing whether the asset is a capital asset or an ordinary asset. Okay? So I hope it's clear. Okay, so now we go to donor's tax. We still have two more topics. We have donor's tax and estate tax. I guess we can finish this on time. So donor's tax is a tax on donation or gift and is imposed on the gratuitous transfer of property between two or more persons who are living at the time of the transfer. It shall apply whether the transfer is in trust or otherwise, whether the gift is direct or indirect, and whether the property is real or personal, tangible, or intangible. Okay? So, ganun po. No? So, in which case, um, pag kayo po ay mag-donate, as a donor, you're obliged to pay donor's tax. But, syempre sa ating culture, since ikaw na lang binigyan, kung gusto mo matransfer yan, ikaw na nagbabayad, di ba? Pero ideally, kaya nga donor's tax, kasi si donor ang may obligation to pay. Okay? So let's compare the old law and the current law. Before, the RA 8424, ganito po ang hitsura ng tax rates. Ang maximum rate is 15%. Pag relative. Pag stranger, dati this is dati, 30%. So, pag brother, sister, spouse, ancestor, lineal descendants, or relative by consanguinity in the collateral line within the fourth degree of relationship, they are considered to be relative, so yung graduated rate. Pag hindi makikita dyan, they are considered strangers of 30%. That's the old law. The current law, the train law, ngayon, whether relative, whether stranger, 6%. Net gifts, of the net gifts in excess of 250,000. Okay? So, yun po. So, ano yung gagamitin na value? Pag dinonate, wala yan selling price kasi donation niya eh. Diba? So, we compare the zonal and the assessor's value, whichever is higher. So, deadline of the filing of the tax is 30 days after the date of the gift. The date the gift is made, no? So, a separate return will be filed for each gift made on different dates during the year reflecting therein any previous net gifts made during the same calendar year. So, cumulative po. Okay? Then, so if the gift involves conjugal property or community property, each spouse will file separate returns. By the way, if you have a chance to attend a seminar relative to property relations, it's really very important for you to know because it will tell you what are the how do you treat the property no anto sa kanilang mga dalawa, kanya lang ba to, exclusive lang ba to, diba? Yung mga things like that. Kasi all the transaction related to real estate, lahat kailangan yung technical know-how on that. No? Or knowledge on property relations. Okay? So So cumulative basis, husband and wife are considered a separate and distinct taxpayer for the purpose of the donors tax. So calendar year cutoff, the basis of the tax shall be for each calendar year based on the total net gifts made during the said calendar year. So this is how we compute that. Kung may nag-donate na January 30, 2018, 2,000,000 less 250,000, 1,750 times 6%, we have 105,000. Tapos, dahil marami siyang pera, nag-donate ulit ng March 30. So, 2,000,000 plus 1,000,000, we have 3,000,000. Less 250, we have 2,750. So, times 6%, we have 165,000. Less 105, we have 60,000. Then, noong August, 500. We cumulative 500 times 2,000,000 plus 1,000,000, we have 3.5. So less 250, we have 3,250. So times 6%, we have 195 less yung mga binayaran natin dati, 165,000. So we have a remaining amount of 30,000 pesos. Husband and wife are considered a separate and distinct taxpayer for purposes of the donors tax. So they will file a separate return if it is a conjugal or community property. And take note, if it's a conjugal or community property, both spouses must sign. Or otherwise, it will just be a continuing offer of the other spouse. If the other spouse will not sign, that would be considered void. Okay, so let's compare the old law and the current law. Okay, so the old law, dati may Doris, ngayon wala na. Dati walang documentary stamp tax, ngayon even donors tax, you have to pay documentary stamp tax. Okay? So 1.5% pa din. So documentary stamp tax not to exceed 1,015 pesos. Each additional 1,000 is 15 pesos for a total of uh, or 1.5%. No? So if the transfer exempt from donors tax, then DST is also exempt. Okay, so ganun po. So ngayon, ang donors tax po is 6% cumulative during the calendar year. So if we go back to the example, just a quick question lang. If you have a donation on January 1, 2019, do you still have to add the 2,000,000, 1,500,000? Yes or no?
Yes.
If you have another donation on ano, sorry, do you still have to add the do you still have to add the 2,000,000, 1,000,000, and 500? Yes or no? No, because it's a different capital. It's a different uh, calendar year. Okay, so calendar year po yung cut-off po natin. Now we go to the last topic, which is estate tax. Okay pa kayo? I hope okay pa kayo. I purposely okay, dapat last topic po kasi medyo ano. Okay, now, estate taxation. So concepts to know in estate taxation, we have to know property valuation, property relations of the husband and wife. I told you, it's very important that we know the property relation of the husband and wife. We know it's community property, we know it's exclusive property, kasi nga, lahat para alam natin kung estate na pinag-usapan, ano ba to? Divided by 2 ba muna bago i-consider yung estate or yung buo na yan ay estate, di ba? Ganun po. So, property valuation, ano ba to? Ano ba yung zonal value at the time? Ano ba yung market value at the time? So the revenue regulation applicable to that is Revenue Regulation number 12-2018. And estate tax is a tax on uh, the right of the deceased person to transmit his or her estate to his or her local heirs and beneficiaries at the time of death, and on certain transfers which are made by law as equivalent to testamentary disposition It is not a tax on property. It is a tax imposed on the privilege of transmitting property upon the death of the owner. Okay, so yun po. So, in which case, that's estate tax for you. Um, Question. Take note, by the way, that whatever real estate transaction you have, if there is a transfer of ownership or there is conveyance, you must pay the corresponding tax for that. If it is a sale, then you pay capital gains tax or creditable withholding tax. No? If it is a donation, donor's tax. If it is estate, it's estate tax. You cannot transmit the property unless you pay the corresponding tax. I had a transaction wherein uh, the owner of the property is dead, and they tried to sell the property. The heirs, is it okay for the heirs to sell the property? Okay, the owner is already dead. The registered owner is already dead. Now the heirs are selling the property. Can they sell the property? Yes or no? Can they sell the property? Yes or no? The answer is yes, no? Because the right to succession is transmitted at the moment of death. Okay? Now, correct yung isa with EJS. So, meaning to say, dapat may extrajudicial settlement of estate kasi hindi naman pwedeng matransmit, okay? Hindi matatransmit sa heirs ang 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 ownership kung hindi ka nagbayad ng tax. What if yung ibang heirs patay? So, may right of representation yung iba, di ba? In that case, yung patay na heir, dapat may EJS din yan. Kasi hindi matatransmit dun sa pumipirma ang ownership, which sometimes sellers don't understand. Because if you don't do that, the BIR will not issue an e-car for the sale. They will ask first for the e-car or the electronic certificate authorizing registration. By the way, the final output for the payment of the tax is the electronic certificate authorizing registration or the e-card. Okay? So, yun. Now, now, question. If the person died in 1999 and you are settling the estate in 2023, my question is, um, what law are you going to use? Is it the law at the time of death, or is it the law, or is it the current law? Please type your answer. Is it the law in 1999 or in the law, was this, is it the current law? Okay, thank you for your answer. What value are you going to use? Is it the value at the time of death, or is it the value? Is it what document are you going to present? Is it the tax declaration and the zonal value at the time of death or in 1999, or the current tax declaration and zonal value? Okay, so thank you. Okay, the answer is lahat kayo current, but most of you current. But the answer is, according to the law, it is a well-settled rule that estate taxation is governed by the statute in force at the time of death. Okay. Um, the estate tax accrues, so it's always at the time of death. So meaning to say, um, you will use the zonal value at the time of death, you will use the tax declaration at the time of death. Imagine if you will use the, like in my previous class, no, they, the one was asking, they presented the current. So syempre malaki yung tax na babayaran nila kasi current eh. Eh kung 1999 yan, yung value nun medyo matagal, medyo maliit. Pag i-present mo yung current, malaki, mas malaki yung uh, market value right now, di ba? So very important information, no? That it should be at the time of that. That's the reason why I was emphasizing kanina the zonal value, effectivity dates. Kasi doon mo makikita, sandali, namatay siya 1999. So, hindi yung current yung titingnan ko, yung at the time of 1999. Ganun po yun. Okay? So, sige. Rate of estate tax, dati, okay, dati, so kung namatay ng 1999 at walang amnesty ngayon, we're waiting, wala pa ba? Wala pang signature si President. So, well, we'll wait. It's well, it might have soon, no? Before ata sa SONA. But at any rate, in case lang na walang amnesty, ito po yung tax rate natin plus interest plus surcharge. So once we have an amnesty again, let's take advantage of that. Okay? So 20% yung maximum, 20%, 200,000. You just imagine, no? 20% ang estate tax rate. Malaki. So plus interest and surcharge, baka yung property mo mapunta na lang sa government. Diba? Now, under the train law, mas konti, 6%. Diba? 6% based on the net estate. When we talk about net estate, we have the gross less the allowable deduction. So, net estate. So, yan yung basis, yung net estate. As I've said, di ba, once you want to take note of the rate, you have to take note of the basis. The basis is net estate. So, 6% of the net estate, you get the estate tax due. So, the gross estate of the decedent shall be comprised of the following. So, for residents and citizens, okay, real or immovable property, personal or movable property, tangible, intangible. So, wherever located at the time of death. Okay? So, pag namatay, ang namatay ay resident, citizen, so lahat ng properties niya dito sa Pilipinas and abroad kasama sa gross estate. Pag non-resident, ang kasama lang sa gross estate, real or immovable, personal or movable, tangible or intangible, located in the Philippines. Okay, so ganun po yun, located in the Philippines. Now, pag alien, pag non-resident alien, ganun din, no? Pag, yung properties lang within the Philippines. Now, how do we value it? No? For REIT properties, we consider the market value determined by the commissioner or the zonal value, and the market value determined by the assessors, and or the market value in the tax declaration, whichever is higher. Okay, so you compare the two, whichever is higher. Now, pag stocks, shares of stocks, it depends kung listed or unlisted. Pag unlisted, it's valued based on the book value, while unlisted preferred share based on the par value. Pag listed share, it's the arithmetic mean between the highest and the lowest quotation at the date nearest to the date of death. Okay, so yun, no? So yun yung mga valuation natin sa mga asset kasi both real or personal kasama po sa gross estate. Now, pag association, yung mga club association, bid price ang kinukuha. Then pag yun. So let's go back to real property. So we compare the zonal and the market value, whichever is higher. Now, in order for you to get the net estate, we deduct the allowable deduction. So what are the allowable deduction? You know, many died during the pandemic. And it's not amnesty that you're going to apply, ha? Kasi pandemic, di ba yung effectivity ng trade law is January 1, 2018 to the present. So yun namatay ng pandemic, ang mag-a-apply sa kanila, hindi po amnesty but trade law ang mag-a-apply. Yung pinag-uusapan po natin ngayon. Okay? Yung iba natatakot kasi feeling nila malaki yung babayaran nila kasi yung prevailing rate ngayon ang laki na eh. Yung pala, ang i-compare mo lang dyan, yung zonal at market value, whichever is higher, not the prevailing rate. Walang ano yun. Now, um, then we have the allowable deductions. May deductions pala. Standard deduction pa lang, that's 5 million pesos. You don't need any receipts for that matter. Okay? Automatic 5 million pesos. So kung ang property mo ay 3 million, standard deduction pa lang, wala ka nang babayaran. Diba? 5 million, negative ka na nga eh. Diba? So, claims against the estate, yun yung mga, kung ang namatay po ay may utang, so kung ikaw po ay creditor, you can run after the estate. So, you can file a claim against the estate. So, it might be, it could be a deduction from the estate, and then claims of the deceased against insolvent person. So, kung ang namatay po ay meron pong receivable from someone uh, na ano yun, na insolvent, no? Kung may receivable siya or someone na insolvent siya, then that amount can also be deducted. Kasi hindi na yun makukulit eh. And then kung may unpaid mortgage, so let's say for example, yung isang property may utang sa bangko, so namatay ang may-ari, okay, the mortgage can be a deduction. Okay? Then taxes, kung sakaling yung property subject of the settlement, mayroong mga arrears on real property taxes, those can be deducted also. Then, kung may nawala, may nasira during the settlement of the estate, it can also be deducted. Okay? So, marami po yung pwedeng deductions. If you can notice, parang baka wala ng bayaran. May iba talaga may bayaran. Ibig sabihin nun, malaki yung profit. So, property previously taxed, yun po yung tinatawag na vanishing deduction. Kung sakaling namatay yung lolo or yung tatay, okay, tapos namatay siya, may isang property, may isang tagapagmana. So, na-inherit ng anak ang isang property na yan. So, pagka-inherit ng anak ng isang property na yan, hindi nagtagal na matay yung anak. So, i-inherit na naman yan ng mga anak. So, yung transmission from the tatay or from the lolo to the anak, nagbayad ng estate tax. Hindi pa nga nag-iisang taon, namatay tong anak. So, i-transmit sa ano. So, in which case, the second transfer can be exempt, no, from the payment of the estate tax. So this is a vanishing deduction. So it depends on how long the first heir is holding the property. So the longer it is, the smaller is the deduction. Okay. So anyway, your accountant will compute for that for you. So transfer for public use. If you donate something to the government, then you can deduct that one. No? So, and then family home, as long as you have a certification from the barangay that it is your family home, you can deduct the value of the property but not to exceed 10 million pesos. So you compare again zonal and market value, whichever is higher. So if it does not exceed 10 million, so the actual, no? Pero pag if it exceed 10 million, the maximum is 10 million pesos. So that alone, no? Kung you're going to settle the family home, yun lang yung property nung namatay, parang wala naman talagang babayaran kung you are going to deduct all these deductions. Then, of course, kailangan po ng certification from the barangay captain of the locality that that is your family home. That's a requirement. Okay? Then, when we talk about family home, it's characterized by permanency, that is the place to which whenever absent for business or pleasure, one still intends to return. So, let's say for example, even though you're working in Metro Manila, but your family home really is in the province, and you intend to return there and your family is there, then that's considered to be your family home. Okay, so, and what else? Then another deduction is amount received by the heir under Republic Act number 9917 for those yung mga retirement benefits. No? Then the net share of the surviving spouse in the conjugal partnership or community property. So actually, di ba pag mag-compute tayo, gross muna yan eh. Kasi total naman yung value ng property na kinoconsider. So after that, uh, you deduct the conjugal share, and then the net would be the net estate. So this is how we do this. Pag, pag married, we have a column for exclusive, we have a column for conjugal, then the total. So here in this example, the net conjugal estate is 42. So divided by 2. So the total net estate is, where is it? Net estate is 32 less the share of the surviving spouse 21. So the net taxable estate is 11 million. So times 6%, that is your estate tax due. Okay, so that's how you compute estate tax. This is just an overview. No, you can attend an very extensive discussion on this, and for your CPDs. No? So let's compare the old law and the current law. Baka masiyang kayo sa old law. Ngayon po, ito na po ngayon. Standard deduction, dati 1 million, ngayon 5 million. Dati may funeral expenses, judicial expenses, ngayon wala na po. Kasi nga 5 million na po ang standard deduction. All others the same. No? Property previously tax the same. Family home. Before po ng train law, 1 million. Ngayon, 10 million pesos na po. And then medical expenses, 500,000 dati mayroon, ngayon wala na kasi 5 million po ang standard deduction. Okay, for non-resident citizen, dati walang standard deduction, ngayon po may standard deduction of 500,000. Okay, all the rest the same. Dati we are required for notice of death, right now we are not required for a notice of death. Then, before, pag mag-exceed ng 2 million, you need a certification from the CPA. Right now, 5 million po ang 5 million po ang threshold. So, dati yung deadline is 6 months from decedent's death. Ngayon po, yung deadline po is 1 year from decedent's death. Before, walang provision on payment on installment. Ngayon po, pwede po kayo mag-pay on installment as long as you can prove that you don't have capacity to pay. So it could be monthly, it could be quarterly. There is revenue regulations for that. No? You can talk to your examiners on that. So within 2 years from statutory date of payments without civil penalty and interest, you can make an arrangement with the BIR as to the payment of that estate tax. Okay? Ganun po. Pwede pong payment on installment. Now, before, pag may bank balance yung namatay, you cannot get it without settling all the estate, no? All the real, personal, like that, no? You cannot get it. But right now, you can get the amount of deposit subject to the withholding tax of 6%. But of course, you have to comply with the requirements of the bank. So, medyo tedious po yung requirements dyan. Dapat ma-prove mo talaga na ikaw po ay heir. Sadly minsan, no, I got a chance to settle an estate. Oh my God, yung mga birth certificate medyo hindi mag-match, lalo na kung collateral line. May iba, lalo minsan sa province, ang linagay lang na pangalan dun sa name of the mother, example, yung nickname ng mother, pero same mother sila actually. Pero dito yung talagang official name ng mother, dito yung, so you really have to make some affidavits and all, no? So yun, tedious po yung requirement ng bank, and they require also they require a bond, no, for that. Wait. Malapit na po tayo. So, yun. We go to the last slide. Okay lang, nagla-last slide. So, the person died in Taguig. Residence is in Tacloban City. Fiesta ngayon. Property is in Makati City, buried in Parañaque. Heirs are from Cebu City and notarized in Quezon City. Now, the question is, where are you going to pay? Or where are you going to process the e-card, no? Or submit the documents? Tell me. Oh, may, halos kayo lahat Makati. Okay, thank you for that. But the answer is, di ba, it's good that I asked this question. The answer is Tacloban, the domicile or residence of the decedent. It's not where the property is located. Yung namatay, possible ba na maraming properties all over the world or all over the country? Possible ba yun? Yes, right? So the see, very important topic, right? Kasi what if kung kayo yung nagsesettle ng estate? Akala mo Makati kasi nandito lang sa Makati ang property. Yung pala taga Tacloban. So, yun naman welcome in Tacloban. But yung pag-budget mo hindi pala ganun kasimple. Diba? You have to go there just to process it. So, see, pero pag sale or sale, it's where the property is located. Pag estate is domicile or residence of the decedent. Okay, so that ends my topic. I hope you learned something from me today. So meron na nag-drawing sa aking slides. So I'm now ready for questions. I hope you learned something from me today and which will be helpful in all your transactions, whether for your client or for your personal transaction. Thank you very much, and I'm ready for questions. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for your... Oh, ang dami naman thank you. Touch naman ako. Thank you so much. Okay, so, well, thank you. Well, thank you naman. Dami nang thank you. Thank you so much. So, question po, you can raise your hand or you can, or maybe some of you wanted to go na. So, that's why you don't like to ask question. Okay, so you can ask questions right now. Habang free pa. Kasi, si Sir Edwin, habang free pa po ang consultation, you can ask questions right now. Kasi pagtapos nito, iba nang usapan yan. Just kidding. So, yun. Questions, Sir Edwin? You can unmute. You can unmute. Eva.
Unmute.
Yes, sir.
Question, ma'am, yung cut-off po ba ng debt? Meron po bang cut-off yung notice of debt? Kasi dun sa new train law?
Well, as I mentioned, no, sa train law right now, wala na pong notice of death na kailangan.
So, let's say, ma'am, namatay yung spouse 2020. So, definitely wala na.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Attorney, thank you.
Thank you. Question pa?
Attorney, pahabol.
Okay, sir.
Ma'am, yung attorney, yung po bang may cut-off po ba yung sa estate tax? Let's say, kasi previously, parang I heard may cut-off yung parang amnesty po ba yun?
Oo, dati may amnesty. Ngayon kasi wala nang amnesty. Unless nga, there are, well, nag-pass na sa, it's subject for the approval of the president. No? They said na baka bago mag-SONA, magkaroon ng amnesty ulit. No? So, take a chance of that. Kasi otherwise, yung kaninang pinisend ko, kasi depende kung kailan naman. No? So, usually kasi yung amnesty na inano nila, yung namatay lang ng from yung December 31, 2017 and prior years. Yung namatay during the pandemic, walang amnesty. I don't know with the current law that they passed, no? Kung they already included those, sa tingin ko, parang in-extend lang yung previous amnesty. So, yun. Thank you.
Thank you, attorney.
Attorney,
Yes, yes.
hello po.
Yes,
Last year nakapag-register kami sa ng business name, tapos hindi natuloy yung business. Hindi kami nakapag-file ng BIR. Ano nangyari doon?
business name lang, wala kayong registration sa BIR or
Yes,
nag-register
wala.
kayo sa
Yes,
BIR?
hindi kami,
You just registered the name. So, ang concern is kung sakaling nagkaroon ka ng registration sa BIR, medyo baka may open cases na po kayo.
parang sa DTI lang kami nakapag-online register. Tapos hindi kami natuloy sa
Okay.
BIR.
So, possible na, well, you just have that business name. So, well, you can explain it naman why you were not able to continue. Okay.
Okay, thank you po.
Thank you.
Attorney,
Yes.
good afternoon.
Yes, parang attorney. Yes, ma'am.
Attorney, bali,
Taga
paano
saan po
po
kayo,
ba,
ma'am?
Cebu,
O, sige. Bisaya ka. Sige, ma'am.
Bisaya, attorney, bali, nagbaligya og pundo, then May 29 na notaryuhan. Then, ang deadline niya is 30 days man. After 30 days, so, nag-down ang system sa BIR. Nag-down ang system sa BIR until karon. So, amo rang gipangayo ang bali
Ano yan?
mag-penalty na mi, attorney. Nag-down nila ang system.
Hindi naman sinasabi sa law na pag down ng system, walang penalty, di ba? Alam mo naman sa BIR. Ideally, you should have
Okay.
paid
So,
on time. Ewan ko lang kung, kasi electronic na yan ngayon, di ba? Unless if they will, where do they consider that? Because there is a trail on the date of payment. What matters is the date of payment. So possible you already have a penalty on that. But let's see, no? Just try to ask consideration. I don't think. But I feel no, they might not consider because there's a system. There,
Add-on, attorney. Bali, pag di nakabayad, pag nag-penalty na, attorney, aside sa penalty na hindi pa nabayaran ng mga ilang buwan, may additional penalty ba or running penalty?
Interest po, 12% per annum, tapos may surcharge ka na ngayon kung sakali, tapos meron kang compromise penalty. So, kung hindi naman malaki yung value, baka hindi naman ganun malaki. Diba? So, try to check it out kung magkano. Pero, ang penalties mo lang yun, yung surcharge, yung interest per annum, syempre yung tumatakbo lang yan, yung interest. Kasi, since you did not file on time, may surcharge ka na 25% and the compromise penalty. So, yung tumatakbo na lang yan, yung interest.
Okay. Bali, tatlo po yung
Yung penalty.
Yung penalty. Thank you, attorney.
Thank you. Next, Chardy Fernandez.
Yes po, attorney.
Taga saan po kayo, sir? Para tayo nasa radyo, di ba? Yes, sir. Sige, sir. Ano po?
Just like to ask kasi yun about sa amnesty po kasi about sa family kasi namin po. Yung ano po ba, yung amnesty, extended na po ba siya, attorney? That's the first question.
Yes. Hindi pa po kasi wala pa pong law that was approved by the president. No? So, as far as I know, no, meron ng approval doon sa Congress and the Senate, but of course, it must be approved by the president, diba? So, we'll wait for the news on that. So, unless there is an extension or is the law approving the extension, then that's the only time we can avail of that amnesty. So, I suggest, no, if you wanted to pay those taxes covered by the amnesty, better wait for that law to be declared.
So, thank you, attorney. My another question po is, if let's say we're working on this amnesty po, and then may lang po, isa or tatlong tao na they caused the delay because hindi nila yung mapag-anuhan ng karamihan. So, gusto nila mas malaki sa kanila, yung ano,
In other words, hindi sila nagkakasundo.
o hindi sila nag-agree sa amin. So,
Okay.
bali, dalawa or tatlo, dalawa lang sila. Dalawa.
So, ano yung question mo as to what?
So,
As to the
will
payment?
that be, hindi po, will that be, a ground for, na pwede sila file ng case to delay?
Ganito, sir. Actually, no, because that's their right, no? To agree on what they want to agree on. You cannot force people to agree on what you like. So what will happen is, since extrajudicial settlement can be executed only if all heirs will sign. All, meaning all. Okay? Pag isa dyan, hindi po pumirma, you cannot execute the extrajudicial settlement. You have to go judicial, which is very costly. Okay? So, but if your purpose, let's say magkaroon ng amnesty, your purpose only is kasi whether it's extrajudicial, whether it's judicial, you still have to pay the tax. Diba? Iba naman yung usapan na ano yung hatian natin. Iba naman yung tax eh. But if your purpose lang is to pay the tax, you can make an affidavit of heirship na walang nakalagay doon kung ano yung divisions and all, then that could be a basis for the payment of the tax. Pero hindi kayo ma-issue ng e-car kasi wala pa kayong adjudication kung ano yung hatian ninyo. Okay, so it depends on the final revenue regulation on the amnesty that will na magkakaroon kung sakali. Ngayon, as of the moment, wala pong amnesty, so we cannot talk about it right now. Because if you file right now for estate settlement on those properties na covered na hindi walang amnesty ngayon. So regular yung pagka-compute. So wait for that na lang.
Okay po. Last na lang po. What if
Marami po nakapirma,
ito na lang po. What if po nakapag-ano na kami ng bid of sale, tapos gustong baguhin nung nabilihan ko na parang gusto niyang napanotaryo na po kasi yung attorney. So is there a chance na pa po niya yan, magagawa po yun ng saan po siya binili?
Then bid of sale na kayo. Pagkatapos, may ibabago. Bakit
Oo, siya gusto siyang babaguhin. Hindi ko lang alam.
Ganito, it's either maybe you have to consult your lawyer on that who executed the Kasi it's so hard to give an opinion on that because I don't know kung anong babaguhin, ano yung mga details na na-execute. I might give an opinion that might be detrimental on your actions. So, ganun na lang po, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Maria Mayra Isip. Ma'am Maria Mayra. Bye.
Hello.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Ako
Oo.
na po, 432.
Ay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Good evening
Good
na.
afternoon. Okay, attorney, meron lang akong alam na buyer. Gustong bumili ng property na naka-AJS. Tapos, meron ng e-car. Pero hindi pa muna ita-transfer doon sa pangalan ng heirs sa Registry of Deeds. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. I'm listening. So, what's the question?
So, tapos gusto na nilang ibenta at gusto naman din nung buyer na bilhin. Pero yun na nga lang, hindi pa naka-transfer hindi pa nakatitulo dun sa mga heirs. Ngayon, sabi nung heirs, pwede ba daw na i-transfer ka agad doon sa buyer. Pero may e-car.
So, asan ka? Sa seller? Sa buyer? Saan ka ba? Para alam ko kung saan ako.
Sa buyer po. Sa buyer.
Sa buyer.
Sa buyer po.
Kasi iba yung opinion ko. Iba yung, if you're in the buyer, I would suggest that ipa-transfer niyo muna yung title. Para po, in good faith kayo na sila na talaga ang owner na pumipirma. Sa akin lang. But as to your question whether they can process, may iba po na, lalo na may e-car na, di ba? So, simultaneous na lang, mag-deed of sale, tapos yung pag-ano nila, magbabayad ng capital gains tax kung that is gano, then mai-issuean ng e-car kasi may estate, meron namang e-car for the heirs, no? Pwede simultaneous na yung pag-register, no? So, what will happen in the register of deeds, transfer from the decedent to the heirs, cancelled, then transferred to the, pwede
Okay. Pwede
pero
yun.
usually, ako kasi pag nasa buyer ako, sometimes I want niya na na-transfer para sure lang. Pero para kung gusto na, depende sa gusto ng buyer mo. Kasi kung buyer gusto na magkaroon ng possession, ura-urada, okay, sige, go. Pero ito yung consequence. So, ganun po. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last question, Paul John Bernardo. Sir Paul John, 5, 4, kasi mag-aalas 6 na, 3, 2, magtanong na habang libre pa, 2, 3, no joke, 2, 1. Okay. Wala na?
Paano po kung kahapon hindi po ako sorry po.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay, sir. O, ano yun, sir?
Ano po kahapon hindi po ako nakapag-attend? Paano ko po habulin yun?
Ay, ma'am, sir, hindi ko po alam. Ako po ay nagle-lecture dito, sir. Hindi ko alam.
Mr. Paul John, I'll answer it later.
Later, after
We can ask questions related to the topic muna. Kasi nagugulat ka pa eh.
Sige po, thank you po.
Thank you.
Hello ma'am, good afternoon. Last na lang siguro ma'am. Hapon
Okay,
na.
sige, sir. Sige.
Ma'am, bali, mayroon po ba tayong exemptions dyan sa donation tax o yung
Donors?
e-card? Yes
Ano
ma'am.
na?
Yung binabayaran natin sa BIR, sa donors, and like government instrumentalities or something like that.
Ganito okay. Now, with regard to, depends on what are you talking about on tax. Kasi as mentioned, no, pag exemptions, let's say donation, no, pag it's a donation to the government or to a charitable institution, di ba?
Correct,
Na
correct.
mayroong exemption sila, pwede yun na exempted sila for donors tax, di ba? But estate, kung may property yung namatay, walang exemption po yan. No? So, pag estate. Pag donors, kung ang dinonatan mo ay, iba yung mga, di ba, kung makaano kayo ng foundation na may accreditation like that, pag mag-donate daw kayo sa kanila, walang tax na ito. Kasi, as long as supported by certification of donation. So, in which case, walang donors tax yun. Pero, ang ano niyan, pag exemptions po ang pinag-uusapan, dapat po nag-qualify or nag-comply kayo sa conditions that stated in the exemptions. No? It depends on the transaction. Okay, sir?
Okay po ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. Okay na, Carms? Ano na?
Okay, thank you so much po, attorney. And
Thank
sa mga
you.
iba pong may mga tanong po, pasensya na, hindi na po natin ma-accommodate yung questions nila kasi po 6 p.m. na po. Sabi nga po ni attorney, mag-break time po. So, hold on po. Let me just mute everyone. Meron po atang nasa prayer meeting. Hold on, let me just mute everyone.
Okay. Are we going to have a
Yes
picture
po.
taking or ano?
Yes. Okay, so before we end or we have our closing remarks, let's have a picture taking. So yung iba po, paki-turn on na po yung camera nila para makuha na po tayo sa ating picture taking. Okay? Ready? Hold on po. Check ko lang po kasi para hindi tayo ma-interrupt. Okay, yung iba po, please mute your microphone ko para hindi po tayo na-inform. Okay, so, 1, 2, 3. Okay, second page. 1, 2. Fourth page. 1. Okay, Okay, last page. 1, 2. Okay. So, thank you so much po, Attorney.
Very
I
much.
hope marami natutunan sa atin mga participants natin. And hopefully, nadalian na sila sa taxation po and ma-apply na po nila in the
Thank
future.
you.
Thank you po. And we
Thank you. Congratulations, you yung 5 hours straight. So at least hindi kayo natulog. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everyone. God bless you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye
Okay,
po.
so please stay for a while lang. I have a quick announcement as